Alright, hello everyone, this is Justin, aka Cursed by Beauty, and I bring you an interview with the one, the only, the Mexican, the Beyrito, Monica, also known as DirtyClassic. Now for those who don't know about Monica, she actually started out as an administrator on the subreddit page, as early as I can remember, and is known for her sneaky shift play even though she doesn't play that style anymore. She has a very good Twitch stream with over 1,500 followers and is one of the most entertaining, fascinating streamers I know. Welcome to the interview, Monica. Okay, so first question I have. What made you come up with DirtyClassic?
I don't know. I'm really into just design in general. And so I said, alright, I'll just look at font names and I'll pick one that I like the way it sounds. And the font name that I ended up liking was called Dirty and Classic. And so I just took the and part out of it, and that's how I got Dirty Classic.
Oh, I like that. That's nice. That's a nice little thing there. Where you come from?
Where do I come from?
Yeah, where you born, where you raised?
I was born in Mexico.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Did you really not know that?
I did not know that. I thought you were born and raised in Austin, Texas.
No, I was born in Mexico. I lived there until I was about barely 8 years old, and then I moved to the United States. I lived in California for about a year. Then I moved to Chicago, and I lived there again for about a year and a half. And it was in Chicago that I really solidified how I learned English, you know?
Okay.
So about when I was 10, that's when I really solidified English as my second language. After Chicago, I moved to Texas, and I've been there ever since.
Is there anything about your hometown that has shaped you as a person today?
My hometown being like where I was actually born, or
Austin. I'm so sorry. Your adopted hometown.
Something that has shaped me. I think Austin has made me. I think the people of Austin are very, very friendly, and you know, like last night I was working and this drunk person decided to pay for someone else's parking. You know, it's just
that's sweet.
Like this is the kind of city, you know, I live in, with happy drunk people. And then we have all these wonderful festivals. I think Austin has shaped me to be more of a social person than I would normally be should I have lived probably in a much bigger city.
That is beautiful.
Austin is perfect the way it is.
Oh, nice. Just like you.
Oh, thank you.
Alright. And that was a love shot. And a punch! Jeez, you're so aggressive. Alright. And a teabag? Yes, yeah. And a teabag. Alright, so let's talk about you growing up. I imagine when you were growing up you were like a tomboy, or what
oh yeah, super
big
tomboy.
Really?
Yeah, like extremely, like would hate anything girly. I would wear boys' clothing. Like I wouldn't I wouldn't buy things that were for girls.
Really? Did you wear like overalls
it was always,
and all
like,
that?
Cargo shorts, like flannel, like just fucking like big ass t-shirts.
Big ass t-shirts. Jeez, what the fuck?
Nothing that would flatter my figure at any point.
Okay. That's lovely. Nothing that showed your
my assets. No,
your assets and your.
I would get picked on a lot.
Lovely lady lumps.
Like, okay, I matured early in that.
Yeah, I know what that means.
Area, and I would get picked up. I would get picked on a lot. By boys,
picked on? You mean not
boys.
Picked up?
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, girl? I like your personalities.
No, I would get picked on a lot. So throughout a lot of my, you know, early teens and I would like bind my chest and I would wear really loose, baggy
Oh
clothing
man,
because
those gifts
I
though.
didn't
You
want to.
got the gift
I didn't
though.
want to. I didn't want to attract any attention to myself because the girls, would call me like you're such a fucking slut or whatever
I
if I
say
would,
yeah,
you
and
know, if
and
I would wear just like a shirt that would,
yeah,
fit
that
me
sucks.
correctly, and then boys, would, say crude things to me,
Oh,
and I
why?
didn't.
Because they can't get
Because
with you.
boys are stupid and they don't
Mm.
realize that, if they were just nice to me, I'm pretty sure whatever.
Hmm.
But
They were nice to me. They might
but
get a little.
if they were nice to me, maybe. But they nobody ever treated me with any sort of respect in that area.
Oh
So
man,
I
those
wore all
guys
those
missed
things in
out. You
order.
guys missed out. All y'all missed out.
Like I would wear all those things in order to just avoid it, you know.
I hear you. That's sucky. I don't have those problems though. Oh, I have a problem, but I was blessed in another area. Moving on.
Yeah, I'm sure you were.
Moving on. What interests did you have growing up? Were there any dorky hobbies that you remember being a fan of
Oh,
during that day?
well, from the age of about 4 years old,
Mm-hmm.
or was it? Yeah, I think it was about when I was between 4 and 6. Video games became my hobby because my
Oh,
uncle
4 and 6.
had
That's
bought me,
really young. And you're living in Mexico this time.
and I was living in Mexico at this time of year, but at this time of year, at this time of my life,
Time of year. That time of
but
year you get in Mexico.
this time of year, I was living in Mexico at this time of my life, but one of my uncles brought a PlayStation 1 back to Mexico
Ooh.
from the United States. So I could say that my uncle was the person to be held responsible for my love of video games throughout my
Nice.
entire life. Uh, he he brought it over, and um, you know that really solidified it because my parents had bought me a Sega Genesis before that. So I would play, Sonic, and I would watch my parents play Sonic and Streets of Rage and just like a bunch of little Sega games back then, like Dr. Robotnik's, like Mean Bean Machine and Golden Axe, and you have all those things. And I would play them, but I think what really solidified it was that PlayStation 1 and getting to play the first Resident Evil at the age of 6, which I do not recommend because that shit scared me senseless. But
Yeah,
I
that
guess
was
like
a
a
very
fun
scary
fact,
game.
my first words in English were "what a mansion" because that is what um, the person who you choose at the beginning of Resident Evil says when you enter the mansion. They're like, "Wow,
Hmm.
what a mansion!"
All right, so we're gonna jump in
a
here.
lot of.
Here we go.
All
3,
right.
2, 1, jump in. The water's fine. Oh wow. Did you even jump down and you blew up?
Nobody left you to die.
How was it? Your childhood like going into high school years? How were they tough, easygoing?
Um, High school was a very whatever time
Okay.
for me. It wasn't. I wouldn't say I was
Were popular?
but
Not popular?
I wouldn't say I was unpopular either. I was just kind of one of those,
In betweener.
in between
Yeah.
people. I didn't really have anybody who like hated me or anything.
Because I wasn't
I
there.
mean, yeah, because you weren't there. Otherwise, I'd have
An enemy.
so many haters. Didn't really engage myself in any sort of activity in high school. Like, I didn't join any clubs. I didn't do anything because I would just come home and play my PS3 all the time.
Really? So
I
you
didn't
became
really
a real
wanna-
gamer through all that? Just like, fuck people, I'm just gonna play this shit.
Well, that's how it was in middle school. I would play my PS2 when I got
Oh,
home.
wow.
Like, I didn't,
Nice.
like, throughout my whole life, I guess I've been
Fuck
very,
social life.
Yeah, I did not really have a social life
Oh, well.
growing up. I think I've had more of a social life now. But I would say that to a degree, I would blame that on my parents because they were very protective. Like, they didn't let me out very much.
Okay. Alright. And I guess that has to do with you guys being Mexican and all those.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh my God,
Stereotypical Mexican. Yeah.
very, gotta look out for my daughter. I don't want her to get hurt.
But it didn't really work out because I ended up losing my virginity at 14.
Yeah,
And
damn!
then just,
To who?
just
The gardener?
being the gardener. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
You know what? I'm trying to kill you, but honestly, I'm the one who wants to die because I want to pull out my hunting rifle. I'm just gonna kill myself because you won't
Oh
do
my
it.
goodness. Of course not. I can't kill you. Alright, well, you're an asshole. And a bitch. Alright, so 14-year-old, how was that like? Was it with someone that you liked, at least?
Yeah, I would say that was like my first like introduction to love.
Okay.
It wasn't.
It wasn't...
Like looking back on it, of course, I regret it immensely, but it, it's a part of who I am today, and I like who I am right
A
now.
whore. No.
I enjoy the woman that I've become. You're so dumb.
Did you die? You died. You died, right? Good.
Yes,
That's all that matters. Well, that's lovely. You 2 years in, but then it cut off.
Yeah, he ended up telling me that he had feelings for who was my best friend at a time, and yeah, so we ended up like breaking up, and then we got back together, and then he started getting a crush for like this girl in
He's
our
such
English
a
class.
scrub. What a fucking scrub.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. 'Cause till this day, from fucking 7th grade till this day, he still hits me up.
What a scrub. Oh my God, what a
hits me up.
scrub.
Like, well,
I'm
you
with
missed
you.
out.
Oh, but I like this other girl. I'm with you. Oh, but now this other girl. Like,
Yeah.
dog.
So he ended up dating this like a mutual friend of ours, and she hated my guts because all he ever would talk about was me.
Oh my
And
God.
she hated that, of course, like
What a scrub.
any rational person would. But she didn't take out like her anger on him. She would take it out on me. So she would always
Like a
say,
dumb
like,
bitch.
yeah, like a dumb bitch.
So
It's like,
dumb.
I didn't do anything to you, sweetheart. Like, leave
That's
me the
so
fuck
dumb.
alone.
So, what was your first introduction to competitive online gaming, or what game
boy.
started you to that?
It would be Resistance: Fall of Man, and it was one of the launch titles for the PlayStation 3.
Okay.
And it was a game much like The Last of Us in certain ways. The Resistance: Fall of Man had a great close-knit community, just like The Last of Us does.
Oh.
Not a lot of people, I feel like, paid attention to it, even though Sony did try to push for stuff like that. Like, Resistance: Fall of Man like had its own tournament with like cash prizes, sponsored by Sony, but it was like it never really got a lot of traction. And I really I don't understand why. I think it's because people didn't understand that type of multiplayer yet. But what I really
What kind of
liked about
multiplayer was
Resistance
it? I thought it was a single
it was
player.
a first-person shooter. You had all different types of crazy, wacky weapons because it was made by Insomniac Games, the makers of Ratchet and Clank. And it, the best players were all determined by how well could you aim, because there wasn't any, there wasn't sharpshooter, there wasn't,
So this had skill involved?
Yes, this had a lot of skill
Oh my God,
involved.
get out of here.
Yeah, so the only thing that could help you is how good could you aim? And if you could aim really well, you were with the best. And if you couldn't aim, well, then you fucking kept dying over and over again. Because in order to kill someone with the most, what people considered a skillful weapon, which was the carbine rifle, it would take 13 bullets to the head to kill someone. That was my first introduction into a competitive gaming world, where people actually took, their skills seriously, and they would talk shit, and you would have all these clans, and you'd have top-notch clans that were,
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Just sounds so much like the Tilu of us.